Carson, and this is my presentation on Jose Antonio Primo Rivera for special topics. He was born on April 24th, 1903 in Madrid as the Marquis of Estella. He was obviously born into wealth and social acclaim as he was the oldest son of dictator Miguel Primo Rivera. He registered as a lawyer in 1925 at the age of 22, and at this point he is already on his way to political office. In 1933, Rivera founded the Falange Española to overthrow the Spanish government if the leftists ever gained power. It was openly fascist, anti-Marxist, and a return to tradition. Rivera was elected to the Republican Cortes in 1933 as a representative for the Falange, even though at this point he did not believe the Cortes should exist. The party was very small until the war, where it consolidated with many other conservative factions. Before the Civil War, Rivera assisted Francisco Franco in planning a coup against the government. Fascist leaders were arrested and executed after the uprising against the Republic. Rivera was arrested for supposedly possessing an illegal firearm. Rivera was imprisoned for 9 weeks, after which he was executed by firing squad. This made him into a martyr for conservative Catholics and was commonly used in propaganda. Theology. The Republican government was openly anti-Catholic as they took church property, they banned the Jesuit order, and forbid religious orders from teaching. Catholics allied with the nationalists out of necessity as they felt they needed a party they would respect and defend the church as the left had failed to do. Analysis. Rivera wanted a Catholic spirit for the government, but would not allow the church to infringe on state power. The Falange used religion as a unifier for the diverse coalition of conservatives. The vast majority of Spain was Catholic, so if they could be convinced that his side was the one of God, Spain would be theirs for the taking. The Falange considered Spain the spiritual center of the Spanish-speaking world, so if Spain remained divided, the South American continent could turn from the light. Thus it was their Catholic duty to unite Spain and remove anyone not completely loyal to the faith. Economics. Rivera was both against capitalism and Marxism. He rejected capitalism because it ignored the needs of the people, worshipped private property, and dehumanized the workers. He rejected Marxism because it led the workers astray by telling them that they deserved any amount of power. He instead wanted all of the workers to labor for the state under a national syndicalist system. Syndicalism is a system where the workers remove the current government and replace it with a system where the workers are organized in production units closely controlled by the government. National syndicalism is another name for fascism. Marxist analysis. Like many other fascists, Rivera was extremely anti-Marxist and anti-communist. In Spain, fears about a Jewish Bolshevik Masonic conspiracy were common. Bolsheviks, or international workers, were thought to be the puppet masters of leftist leaders. After the Russian Revolution, the Spanish right began to fear similar workers' uprising closer to home. This is reflected in the Falange Manifesto, where Rivera declares that under his system, class struggle would be impossible. The relationship between the state workers and capital under the new system would change only in so that the state would take the place of the capitalists. The working class would still be controlled by an upper class, only the name of it would change. They still have to work for someone with control over their entire lives, without access to the fruits of their labor or to the means of production. Their lives would not fundamentally change. Conclusion. José Primo de Rivera was executed on November 20th, 1936. His writings would make up much of Franco's core doctrine during the war. After the war, Franco abandoned many of the extreme fascist values he adopted from Rivera in exchange for traditional conservative ones. The Falange was formally abolished in 1977 after Franco's death. Rivera is still considered a martyr by many Spanish conservatives today for dying defending the faith against leftists.